Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a October financial recap. I'm going to be doing these every month from now on since it seems like you guys like them so much. So today we're going to be talking about our end of September net worth, our October spending, our October income, our October budget, and then our end of October net worth. And then we're going to be looking at our budget tracker that I showed you guys in the last video on Notion, where I do a little estimation of our November income to make sure I work enough to make ends meet at the end of the month. I have a little bit of a new setup going on. I'm using a microphone today, as well as sitting at my desk, which is now facing the other direction, if you can't tell that everything's flipped. So if I'm a little bit out of sorts, that is why. I'm just getting used to the new setup. I like it a lot so far, and I do have a video coming about my office setup, but without further ado, let us hop right into our You Need a Budget. So you guys are seeing here my September net worth, and I'm only showing just September, so that's why there's no change in net worth over here on the right side. This is our net worth as of the end of September. It was $26,606, but that is including all of our investment accounts and my 401k. So I'm going to turn those off and then come back here and you will see that our net worth is $7,660. The reason I'm turning off those investment accounts is because yes, they do fluctuate and I do update them every once in a while in my YNAB because it doesn't accurately update them with the tracking. I have to kind of update that myself, but since those fluctuate and those really are not under my control, it's really about the market. I don't include those when I talk about my net worth for these videos because I'm assuming they're going to stay around the same, if not go higher or drop. So excluding that, this is what we're looking at. If you guys do want to see updates on our investment accounts, let me know in the comments down below. I'm happy to provide like monthly updates about whether it went up or down and where we're at with that. But yeah, for these videos, I haven't been showing it. So just let me know if you want to see it. So this is what our end of September net worth looks like. And before we show the difference, we're going to go straight into spending and we're going to look at our October spending. So if you don't remember from the past videos, our spending each month has been going down since I left my 9-to-5 job. We've been pretty good at adjusting and being more consistent with our spending to match our income better. So as of September, our spending was $2,900 for the month. And now we're going to look at October, which I will say October was not a great month. And I have a feeling that we went up in our spending, but I have not yet looked at this, so I'm not 100% sure. Okay, well, that's not terrible. So we went up to $3,014.33, which is up less than $100 from September. So honestly, that's not too terrible. I was thinking we went up a lot higher because I did go on a trip in the month of October. I went to visit my friend Kaylee, so I felt like our expenses were going to be a bit higher this month. So that is not terrible. It's pretty obvious looking at the just for fun category, which has our eating out, that we did spend more money on eating out in October, which makes sense because I did go on my trip. So yeah, that's probably what messed us up, was the eating out category. But like I've said in previous videos, my goal is to be spending $2,500 per month. So we're still $514 over what my goal is for spending each month. There's definitely still work to be done and adjustments to be made, which I am making actually quite a few adjustments this month to hopefully bring our expenses down and work through that. So I will let you guys know about that when we get to the budget section. But before we look at the budget, let us look at our October income. So I like to start with a quick reminder that our income in September was $1,733, and that was a combination of my husband's income from his job, my Instacart shopping income, my Rover cat sitting income, and I think that is it. So that is what our income looked like in September, which I already know, I'm pretty positive at least, that October is going to be much higher, but let's check it out and then I can tell you guys why it is higher and what exactly we did to raise our income. And I was wrong. See, this is why you budget. This is why you look at these things. I really thought our income was higher for the month of October, which is very interesting. So we're going to do a little comparison. Let's add back in September because it should give us a side by side here so we can actually look at what changed. So I'm looking at this and what I'm seeing here is, first of all, this $83 that we made in September through Venmo was actually just money my husband had in his Venmo account already. So it wasn't actually income. So from that perspective, we did go down about $100 in income after we exclude this. Now we can see that Instacart income did go down in the month of October because I did only one day of Instacart in October, which if you were around for my last video, I said I wanted to do 10 days and yeah, that just didn't happen. I'm really working on this, but it was not a good month for me with Instacart. And the one day I did do, I made less money, which I actually did a whole video on this specific day that I Instacart shopped and I just posted it last week. So if you want to see that, you should check it out after this video. video, I will have the link in the description. But looking at Rover, we made only $2 more with Rover in the month of October, which I'm kind of confused about because I could have sworn I made more money with Rover in October versus September. So I'm going to do a quick check just to verify that is the case. So I am thinking that something might be missing here, but I'm not sure what it is. I'm going to dive into my checking account really quick just to verify this because I'm kind of confused. So I just figured it out. Basically what happened is I had a Rover payout that happened at the end of October. When Rover pays you out, they transfer the money to your PayPal account, and then I need to go on my PayPal account and transfer the money to my bank account, and I completely forgot to do that. So I actually made $123 more than is shown here for Rover. It's going to take a little bit for this to actually come into my account. So I'm going to add it in manually myself. And then once it comes in, I can delete the source that comes in so that it actually shows for the month of October, because that's when it actually came into my PayPal account. I just never transferred it over to here. So from this, we can see that we made $1,670, which if we actually take out this $83, like I talked about from the month of September, we did go up in our income for October because this Venmo really was not income. The thing is, I actually made more money in the month of October because I made my $70 from Instacart, my $582 from Rover, and then my $170 from YouTube AdSense. It was my first month getting paid out with YouTube. I made around $825 in the month of October versus the month of September. I only made about $540. So I made almost $200 more in the month of October with my own income. However, Oliver actually got paid out less in October than he did in September. And the reason for that is that the paychecks that he got in October were accounting for the week off that he took in September when we went home to visit family. So I know I've talked about this before, but obviously when I plan for his income, I plan for the month based off of the actual shifts he's going to work. But the reality is that money comes the next month because it's like, deferred by 2 weeks or so. We made quite a bit less from Oliver's income in the month of October, but I did make up for it with my income. So in the end, we made about the same amount of money in October as September. Next, we are going to look at our October budget. So for the month of October, we can look and see here that our rent was the same. Our utilities here is something interesting to look at, which I want to talk about. We only spent $68 on utilities in the month of October versus if we go back to the month of September, our utility bill was $99. So our utility bill went down $30 in the month of October. And you might be thinking, oh, well, it's colder outside. You probably didn't run as much AC. But the actual truth to it is we were out of town for a week in September, which accounted for almost like a 25% deduction in our utility bill. And what I realized from this is that I actually am using way too much electricity because I like to keep it extremely cold in the apartment. So at night, I usually turn the AC down to like 68 degrees. And the thing is, for some reason, this apartment stays pretty warm in the winter and I never have to run the heater. I actually end up running the AC throughout the winter months. But since we've moved to this apartment, we actually have this sliding door that's right here and it has a screen so I can actually open the door and let in cold air, which the windows in DC only open like this far. It's like a legal limit. They can only open a certain width. So it actually doesn't get very cold when you just open your windows. So it's actually a huge advantage for us to have this door because we can actually cool the apartment down super fast. So basically what I've been doing after seeing this number, I realized it when I paid the bill that it was so much lower. I looked into our daily usage and I looked into the hourly usage and I found that the highest usage was obviously in the middle of the night. Something we had already been doing but I checked up on was the peak hour rate for our utility company because different companies in different areas have different peak hour rates, but during the month of October it switches over to the winter peak hourly rate function. So basically in DC in the winter months from October I think through April, I honestly don't remember, you need to look it up, but it's 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. there's a higher rate for your utility usage. So I'm sleeping usually from 6 to 9 a.m. so it doesn't really affect me in terms of using like the dishwasher or the washing machine, but if you're awake, make sure you don't use any high energy items in your household during those peak hours. But the other thing is that from 6 to 9 a.m. my AC is usually still running from the night because again, I run my AC at night to keep it at 68 degrees and it's pretty hard on my AC and causes a lot of money for our utility bill. So I sat down with my thermostat one day. I spent like 30 minutes trying to figure it out because it was not intuitive, which is why I had not already done it because I used to do this in all my old apartments. I figured out how to actually program my thermostat and I programmed it. It sounds really next next level, right? But if you haven't been programming your thermostat, you should definitely do it. I set it so at 6 a.m. it turns off and it doesn't run, so that from 6 to 9 a.m. during that peak hour, I'm not actually running my thermostat. I also made it so it's only at 68 degrees from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. so for 8 straight hours, which also incentivizes me to actually sleep from 10 to 6 because I would like to be waking up early anyways, so it helps me to want to go to bed earlier since that's when the AC actually starts running. The other thing I like to do is around 9 p.m. I like to open the sliding door if it's cold outside and let the apartment cool down on its own, so by the time 10 p.m. hits, it's usually actually pretty cold in the apartment and the AC doesn't even need to run that much. So I'm very curious to see what our utility bill looks like in the month of November and then especially in the month of December because again, utility bill lags as well, so we'll probably start seeing changes in the current bill we're in, but it might only be like the second half of the bill, and then the next bill is when we should see a major change. So I'm really hoping that this number even goes lower now that I'm way more aware of how much energy I'm using. Anyways, end of that rant. Renter's insurance, the same. We did spend more money on groceries in the month of October, which is very interesting, and I'm not exactly sure why because our dining out bill was still higher than normal too. So in general, we just spent more money on food in October, and one thing I do know is that I did place an order at an Asian grocery store and stocked up on a lot of the items that I usually get from there, and those usually last me for a couple of months. Like I get a lot of different specialty ramens that I like and stir fry noodles, etc., and those tend to be a little bit more expensive, so I did stock up on some of those items, which is part of the reason I'm assuming. But yeah, we did spend a lot more on groceries. Gas, we spent $102, which is quite a bit. In the month of September, we spent around the same actually, so I guess our new normal for gas is $100, and I should probably set a new budget to be $100 because it seems like that is what we're currently spending each month. Car insurance, we just saved towards our total. Transportation, again, I did go on a trip to see Kaylee, so I spent around $60 on that trip for Amtrak tickets to go see her. She lives around Philly. And then I did take my bike quite a few times. I did pay for parking for our trip. That came out of our account at the beginning of October, even though it was something we did in September, but we did long-term parking to fly out of BWI because the plane tickets are much cheaper from Baltimore. So we paid $70 for that. And then I did refill my Metro card twice for $20. So we had a much higher transportation fee than we normally do. I did spend $20 for clothes at a thrift store when I went to visit Kaylee. I spent $10 on items for Boba, my cat, $13 on home items, which is something from Amazon. I think I bought trash bags or something. Personal care, I spent $30, which was for my deodorant, which lasts me like over a year. And I bought 2 of them because there was a sale going on. So I got basically almost 2 years worth of deodorant as well as a bar of soap for $30, and I'll be set for the rest of the year, which if you're curious, I shop at Little Seed Farm, which is this amazing small business that makes their own natural deodorant, and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. Compassion, $38. iCloud storage, for some reason, both purchases came out in the month of October, so it's double that month. Dining out, I spent $330. So again, pretty high and a little bit higher than September. I said I was trying to go down each month in our dining out category, and again, the big issue was that I went on that trip, which I really needed to go on that trip to visit Kaylee. You can see Dollar Tree and CVS for some couponing purchases. I spent $60 on my piano for my birthday, which I had already budgeted for, and then Oliver bought something for a video game from his gift money that he had saved up. And then besides that, we spent $22 on a laptop charger because Boba chewed through my laptop charger last month, so I had to buy a new one. I bought an electronic mailbox for my business so that I actually have a physical business address and I don't have to share my legitimate address whenever I do anything for my business and for my email newsletter. I paid for TubeBuddy, which actually went up to $7.20 now that I'm over 1,000 subscribers. I used to pay about $5, but now I have to pay $7 since I don't get the small YouTuber discount anymore. And then you'll also see that I started budgeting for taxes, which I talked about in my previous video. I use the app Stride to track my income as well as my expenses for all of my self-employment type of jobs. So for Rover, I track all of my mileage when I go to and from jobs, and then I track the income that comes in to help me estimate my taxes that I need to budget for each month. I had not been budgeting for my taxes at all before this. You'll see the month before I have $0, so I did take the month of October to budget for those taxes from the past few months that I had been making any type of self-employment income. I do the same thing for Instacart, budget the mileage that I go as well as any accessories I've bought for Instacart, such as like my portable chargers, things like that, insulated bags, all of that kind of stuff. And then I also do put in my YouTube income and any expenses I have related to YouTube. So that laptop charger I bought will go right into my expenses because I have to buy that laptop charger to use my laptop, which is the only thing I use my laptop for, is for my business. So all of those expenses get tracked, which helps estimate my actual taxes that I will need to pay at the end of the quarter, so I have that tracking going on. Besides that, there's not much else groundbreaking going on here in the budget. It's good to know though that we are averaging about $100 a month for gas, and our utilities are going down and hopefully will continue to go down, which is a small thing, but $50 a month right now is huge and really, really useful. As for food, something I'm trying to do now in the month of November is number one, buy more frozen food, which actually one of you suggested this, and I started trying to do it in October, but again, that trip really threw everything off. But I am trying to buy more frozen food for quick convenience meals, because I find that a lot of times when I eat out, it's out of convenience, where I don't have a lot of time and I'm really hungry and I'll just go get fast food or go pick up food out. But if I have frozen food that can make quick meals, and that really helps with that, as well as I bought frozen French fries, frozen chicken nuggets, stuff like that, because then I can just make that if I'm really craving some type of fast food. But one important thing I'm doing in November, because it is Thanksgiving and we are staying home for Thanksgiving in DC. It is also Oliver's birthday on Thanksgiving Day this year. Even though I already would have made a big deal about Thanksgiving, it's even more reason to. But something I did for Thanksgiving last year that I'm going to be doing again, and it just got released that they are actually doing it again this year, is Ibotta has this offer where you can get free Thanksgiving items from Walmart. I will quickly pull up a little screen share from my phone to show you guys what is included on the Ibotta app. But if you sign up for Ibotta and then you add these offers to your Ibotta account, go to Walmart and you'll get refunded for all of these items that you purchase. I did this last year, and the main thing to me that's important is I got the free turkey, which now is up to $15. I think last year it was up to a $10 turkey. I can't really remember, but for me and Oliver, that's perfect. We can buy a frozen turkey breast and get it completely free. So if you're planning on doing any type of Thanksgiving celebration, make sure you check out this offer and sign up for Ibotta. I do have a link in my description for you to sign up for it and get the free Thanksgiving dinner, because seriously, there's no reason not to do this. If you have a Walmart near you and you need any of these items, you might as well get them for free. So that is one way I'm making sure that we keep our expenses low next month. I also want to be better at using Ibotta to track any reward offers and actually get more money back for our groceries, because seriously, it is a great app to use. I used to use it a lot more when I couponed a lot. I've kind of died down on my couponing habit and I want to bring it back up because it really does save a lot of money. You'll see I rarely ever spend money on any personal items like shampoo, conditioner, stuff like that, because I actually have a huge stockpile of toothpaste, toothbrushes, shampoo, conditioner, body wash from all the couponing that I've done in the past, and now I have it all saved up to use now. One thing though is I'm almost out of shampoo and conditioner from my back stock, so I really need to start couponing again to get that. Otherwise I'm gonna have to buy that outright, and shampoo and conditioner is just ridiculously expensive for no reason. So I think I've mentioned it before, but I will link down my favorite channel for coupon information that I usually follow when I am doing couponing. But do let me know if you want more information on this. I don't really know if I'm the best person to make a video about it because I genuinely just follow these other couponers, but I would be happy to make a one-off video just explaining the main things that I do and what works for me and the ways I keep it very low maintenance and without a lot of effort to coupon. But yeah, I think that's it for our October budget. Next, let's go into our net worth for October. So we already looked before. Our September net worth was $7,660. Now I'm going to add in October, and we will see that our October net worth is $6,315. So we went down $1,344, which is not great. But if we look at August to September, it was about $1,200 change in net worth, and then September to October was $1,350. So we went down $150 more in our net worth this month, which again is just not great, and that is not the ideal situation. Like I've said in previous videos, I'm trying to bring that number lower and lower and get closer to breaking even each month. But the main problem is that our income was only $1,670, and it really needs to be much closer to $2,500. So what am I doing to make sure that November is better? Well, that is where we jump right over to our Notion so I can show you guys our budget spreadsheet that we are using to keep track of our income and make sure we get closer to breaking even each month. So if we look at the month of October, you'll see that I have my Rover income, which was $582, my YouTube income, which was $170, and Oliver's income, which was $1,200. And again, the $1,200 is based off of the actual shifts that he does in October. So as this goes on, it will actually mean that we'll start legitimately breaking even if I meet this threshold of how much Instacart sessions I do to reach our monthly goal of $2,500. But right now, since I had just started this in October, this $1,200 that he's going to make will come at the end of October and the beginning of November. So that is why he didn't actually make $1,200 in October. Like when we look at this, he only made $1,000. Did he make $1,000? No, he only made like $845, not $1,200. So that is why. One thing that I added since the last time we talked about the spreadsheet was an Instacart income column so that I can put my income in that I make after I do an Instacart session, and then it recalculates this number. So basically this will be a running number of how many more sessions on average I need to do. So for the month of November, I looked at Oliver's actual shifts that he's going to work, and he's projected to make about $1,100. The month of October, I did end up making $86 from AdSense on YouTube. And the great thing is my Rover income projections for November are $980 because of Thanksgiving. A lot of people are leaving, and I'm working a lot of jobs during the week of Thanksgiving, which may not be ideal for some because I will be working over Thanksgiving, but considering I'm literally almost going to be at twice as much money from Rover in November that I was in October, to me it's completely worth it, because what that means is that our Instacart session number will be lower. But since Oliver is working a bit less, it is still kind of close to the same number, but still 2 Instacart sessions less is a great thing in my opinion, and I'll totally take it. So I did work an Instacart session yesterday. I did kind of a short session, only did 2 batches, and I made $67. Basically, I need to do 7 more Instacart sessions in the month of November, and it's only November 5th today, so that is 100% doable. That's literally like doing 2 sessions per week if I do 1 more session this week. So 2 sessions per week is not bad, although during the week of Thanksgiving, I probably won't be able to do any sessions. So my goal is to do 3 sessions the week before Thanksgiving and 3 sessions the week after when I'm not doing Rover, because there's going to be a week where it's just going to be insane. I'm going to be doing cat visits literally every single day, like all day long. So it'll be crazy, but it'll make up for it with the money that we're going to make. The other thing to know is that this number is before tips. Like I talked about in another video, Rover started allowing people to tip you through the app, which they never had a way to do that in the past. So no one would tip me, but now they prompt the user to potentially tip the sitter if they think they did a good job. So I actually made tips on the last 2 jobs I did in October after that feature was rolled out. So I do expect to actually make a bit more money, since I'm assuming that people will be prompted to tip me, which means they will hopefully tip me. So if I make more money from tips, then that will even increase this number more, which means that I will be even closer to actually doubling my income from October, which will be legitimately awesome. And if you think about it, allowing people to tip, most people will assume that they need to tip from 15 to 20% because that's how much we usually tip service workers. So that would mean that my income from Rover might go up 10 to 20% just from them releasing this new feature. Why they haven't released this in the past, I have no idea, but they really need to be releasing it. So yeah, that's kind of what my income looks like for the month of November. I think it's going to be a great month, and we're going to be much closer to actually breaking even, which really needs to start happening because, again, we're kind of running out of money. If we hop back over here to the net worth, because I know we've talked about this in the past, since our change in net worth was $1,340 and last month it was like $1,200, I'm going to say that on average we're changing our net worth by $1,300 each month. If that trend continues, then we have about 4 months left where we will still have money to use before we end up having to cash out our investment accounts over here. Again, our 401k is our like complete worst case scenario cash out because there will be a large penalty for cashing that out. But since we have around $5,500 in these investment accounts, after the taxes are paid on those, we should have a few $1,000s at least to be able to use in legitimate cash once we run out of money, if that happens. But again, that's not my ideal situation. I want those numbers to just continue growing until we are going to use them for an actual important purchase, not just because we need to make ends meet. But if you think about it, we have November, we have December, we have January, and we have February, and then our lease is over here. So we actually have 4 more months, which is the exact amount, if this change in net worth continued, that we would have to be able to make it until the end of our lease. Then we wouldn't actually have to pay any more rent, and we could kind of figure out what to do from there. So I feel pretty safe because I know that we can pay our expenses through the end of this lease, which our lease is obviously our major expense. We have discussed what we are going to do once our lease ends at the end of February, early March. So I will be discussing that in a video and letting you guys know at some point what our plans are. If you watch the vlogs, I'll probably discuss it in a vlog casually, but I'll make a dedicated video to talk about why we decided to do what we're going to do and why we decided to move where we're going to move. So 2 other big things that happened in the month of October relating to finances was, number 1, I found out that someone I had referred to my management company's buildings, apartments, signed the lease a few months ago, and they've officially lived there for 3 months now. So because of that, I got $1,000 credit on my rent account for referring someone, which means I'm going to be spreading that out over the next few months, which will make our monthly rent payment actually lower. But instead, what I decided to do is just leave it and wait until the month of February, where we can see how much is actually sitting in our account, and then just pay way less rent in February. So instead of changing that monthly amount, I would rather just continue striving to pay the amount that we can pay. And then when that time comes, we'll have a way lower rent payment for February. The other big thing that I wanted to know is that I did get my hospital bill from the time that I was in the hospital while I was in Florida, and it totaled around $1,600 after self-pay discounts because I do not have insurance right now, which is not ideal. But the good news is I remembered recently that I have an HSA account, a health savings account that I had through my 9-to-5 job, which has $800 in it. So that's about half of the bill. Currently, I'm in the process of talking with both the hospital as well as the physician that charged me amounts for that visit to talk about any potential options, talk about payment plans, and basically how I'm going to be paying off those bills in the coming months. So stay tuned for updates on that. And the last financial goal that I want to mention here is that if we look over here at our budget spreadsheet with our YouTube income, we only made $86 in the month of October from our YouTube channel, which the payout threshold to actually get paid from YouTube is $100 through Google AdSense, that is. So I actually will not get that paycheck in November. I will not be paid until December. So it'll be my October and my November AdSense will probably be paid out in December. So one of the goals I want to do moving forward is try to always reach a $100 YouTube income threshold so that no matter what, each month I do get paid out $100. And if you're wondering like, okay, cool, how are you going to do that? Like you can't just like decide how much you get paid. The thing is, on average for each of my videos, I do get paid a few dollars for sure with you guys who genuinely watch almost all of my videos. So what I could do if I know that I'm having a lower AdSense month, say halfway through November, we're at like $40, then I would try to push out an extra video for the next 2 weeks and post 3 videos for the 3rd week and 3 videos for the 4th week of November. So that way I get a little bit of a boost, $5 more here, $5 more there. And in general, it's always good to post more videos because you never know, one of those videos can end up doing really well. You guys could love it, other people could love it, and I might end up making more money from that video. But that would be my goal because right now I'm posting about 8 videos per month and it doesn't equate to $10 per video because in reality, a lot of the money that I get from AdSense is from older videos that still get views consistently. So yeah, that's my plan with that. But again, it's only November 5th and I already have $980 projected income for Rover, and the reality is that a lot of jobs for Rover get randomly brought up throughout the month. I just today got a message from a girl who wants me to watch her cat tomorrow just for one visit, which is an extra $20 for me. So I added that in right before this video. But again, she messaged me the day before. That is all I have for this video today. I hope you guys enjoyed getting a peek into my finances and seeing where we're at, seeing our goals, things we're doing to improve. And yeah, it's really a work in progress. And again, it's definitely been an adjustment going from a pretty high salary job to working these gig jobs and balancing trying to treat my YouTube channel as a full-time thing with all of these other gig work jobs as well, because it does take a lot of time to produce 2 videos per week for an entire month. Obviously, if I shifted all of the time from my YouTube channel towards like Instacart, I would be easily meeting my threshold for working Instacart jobs and could easily replace this YouTube income that I'm getting of like $100. But the thing about YouTube is that it is an investment in my time. Like I talked about in my other video about life-changing perspective shifts, YouTube is a time investment for me that is going to potentially grow and create something amazing and make a community of people who are like-minded and want to help each other and work through these interesting times if you're going through something similar as me. So it really, for me, is worth the investment versus Instacart is not an investment. It's really just making money. So I'm putting in time, I'm getting money for it. Nothing is going to change with Instacart. I'm not suddenly going to make more money from Instacart. It's always going to stay the same. Rover does have somewhat of an investment factor because the more jobs I do, the more reviews I have, the more my profile gets pushed out to new people, and the more jobs I get each month. So my Rover income has increased every single month since I started. So in a sense, it is an investment, but the thing is, it is still time for money. I can raise my rates on Rover, but I won't suddenly be making like tons more from Rover. Like it caps out at a point, you know what I mean? So really, YouTube is just a huge investment for me that I'm making because I love doing this and I want to continue doing it. That's all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your financial goals in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.